Okay, so hi everybody. So a week ago, Repzilla made a video about Keemstar's new girlfriend. He uploaded the first video, it got a lot of dislikes, and then he uploaded a second video explaining himself.
Today I made a video. It was about Keemstar's new relationship with a girl that was 20 years old. Now, I titled this video, Keemstar is dating a 20-year-old child, which I guess I should have put in quotations, but I did put child in all caps.
Yes. So I watched the first video, and I mean, outside of the title, it's still not good. Like, it's kind of stupid. So in the first video, Repzilla kept on harping on, like a Minecraft joke that Keem made.
What?
But listen,
Okay, yeah, listen, sorry for cutting you off. Go, just talk, take the floor.
well, she's a waitress, right? Whatever. She's a server. Anyhow, we met, we hung out, we've been hanging out, we've been having a lot of fun. All right, and I don't feel awkward about the situation at all because honestly, like, do I act like my own age? No, like I'm like 25 for life, pretty much. But anyhow, nothing was awkward about the situation whatsoever. Everything's been totally fine. I don't feel like a creep. I know other people are gonna judge. I don't really care what you think. But there was this one moment where I did feel like a creep. We were hanging out. Everything was totally fine. The vibes were like perfect, dude. And she said to me, "Do you want to play Minecraft?"
There's no way.
No, she did. No, she did. She wanted to play Minecraft on her phone. And I was like, wait a minute. Holy shit. Am I being a creep?
Yeah, that didn't sound very good at all.
Like, shut up. Oh my god. And, like, this is the one time he brought it up. He at least brings it up, I believe, 2 other times during the video about this, like, about him joking about her playing Minecraft. Y'all realize that Minecraft's old as fuck, so it's not out of the realm that somebody who was like a teenager or whatever when it first came out is now an adult. Like, perfectly reasonable. And it's like, can adults be into childish things without... I guess part of the joke that Kim was making is that we kind of assign, like, you can only like something if you're under a certain age or whatever. So that could be part of the joke. And it's like, okay, so this girl is 20. He met her, and he's like 38, 39. He's 39 years old. They met when she was 20. They have, and that's a very crucial thing here, is that it was recent. While she's an adult, there was no contact before this. So I don't care, frankly. The only reason why other people care is because Keem's fucking annoying and has really, really, really shitty takes sometimes. When people started criticizing him for his relationship, his comeback was calling everybody ugly. Like, what a child. That is a child move. Okay, so, whatever. The first video and this video, the second video, he reads off a lot of other people's comments. So I'm just gonna be kind of like, just gonna come in what I want to talk about here.
When I first posted that video, I was taken aback because I thought people would know. I put child in all caps, and I don't normally put things in caps like that. I mean, I do sometimes, but it's usually to prove a point. And I guess my mistake was that I didn't put it in quotations. And
No. Okay. We're gonna take this bit by bit here. How the fuck do you get sarcasm out of all caps? I don't understand. So, a thing about text, like communicating through text, is there's really no tone indicator, really. You can't figure out what somebody means. You can read a tweet like 1,000 different ways and take it in a bunch of like different directions. So, and I've never seen somebody use like capitals as like a sarcasm sort of thing, which I'm thinking that's what he means. And he also goes on to say that he doesn't normally do that, so he figured people would figure out there's something up. I guess fuck new viewers then. Oh my god. And like, who is so invested in somebody's channel? Like, you would have to know that off the top of your head, and there's like nobody who's that invested in the channel. I'm sorry. And then he goes to say, you know, the whole thing about putting it in quotation. The problem was that he didn't put it in quotations. So why the fuck is the whole title completely different then? If the problem was the quotations, why didn't you just put it in quotation? Come to think of it, you probably should have put a question mark at the end of child. Be like, what? So, at least that would give a little bit of a tone indicator with the parentheses in effect. So, but he completely changed the title to something completely different. Suddenly your point is kind of moot here.
That's new emerging research, but really that's just from a scientific standpoint.
That is just on a scientific standpoint. Like, bitch, we're talking about brain development. What other fucking standpoint is there?
From University of Rochester Medical Center, it's an educational website, they say the similar thing about being the age of 25. Stating, in fact, that recent research has found that adult and teen brains work differently. Adults think with a prefrontal cortex and the brain's rational part. This is part of the brain that responds to situations with good judgment and awareness. So it appears that this debate is very diverse with opposing sides, and it gets really
Wait a minute. So he didn't read it, but the part that he highlighted did state that the brain isn't fully developed until 25. So it looks like 2 out of 3 of your sources are saying that the brain isn't developed age 25. Why is it still up for debate then? Okay, hello, editing me. So, I had to go find the article he was reading, because of course he didn't link it. And, so I had to, like, read the whole thing to make sure that there's, like, no question of what they were talking about in it, and it's pretty short, so, I think what he's confused on is, when they say teen brain and adult brain, they're not talking about, like, the legal definition of adult, they're talking solely about brain development, because the whole article is about brain development, and up top, that he highlighted and acknowledged that was there, but just didn't read, that it said that the brain doesn't develop until the age of 25. So, until the age of 25, people still have a teen brain, which means that they use emotion rather than reason, like how adult brain works, because that's the part that he read. And there, like, in that small little thing that he neglected to read, there was no question, there was, like, emerging research suggests, it says, like, they know that is a fact. Now that I'm thinking on it, now that I kind of see what the science says, suddenly a 39-year-old dating a 20-year-old starting to sound a little bit morally dubious. A little bit. If you want to hear, like, a better argument about this, it's probably you've already seen it. Rachel Oates made a video about this, pretty good. She brings up a pretty good point, while it's not a really good recipe, and tends to go wrong, it doesn't always go wrong, so... It seems like you're wrong, but
It's important to note that I got the idea for the title of my video from another creator. Bo Blacks, Keemstar is dating a 20-year-old, and in the thumbnail it says 20-year-old child, and he was getting what I was getting, like, that you cannot say 20-year-old child.
Just because somebody else does it doesn't mean you can do it too. What the hell? I can't go into court of law and be like, Your Honor, a bunch of these other people, like, fucking did cannibalism, so I can too. So, what are you gonna do about it? Like, no! You're both wrong. And he even goes on to say, like, Bo Blacks also got hate for it, so then you both got the same consequences for the same thing. Like, what is even this? Why are we even here? Why are we having this conversation right now? Why do you even include this?
really is about is there's a group of people out there, Keemstar included, who have a thing against tea channels. And they like to say that I'm a tea channel. And I'm not a tea channel. Though on some occasions, I've been known to spill the tea.
So... yeah, here's kind of like the thing about that. What is a tea channel? Like, not that I'm confused on the concept or whatever, but it's like, how do we classify, like, what is the line between commentary and tea? Or drama? Tea/drama. Like, how are we categorizing these channels? That probably needs to be clear.
Drink's a little bit stronger than that. It's called being objective and impartial and staying more with the facts. I'd consider myself an independent thinker.
Huh. That's funny. Cause I remember a video that got from a live stream that was edited down over at Homeboy's Got Receipts where Nicholas Dior was confronting you about that whole thing with Gabby Hanna, and your justification for making a big deal out of something that shouldn't have been a big deal was her past history. I'm talking about the whole thing with Bianca Devins, if you don't know.
You can't take something too far that's objectively f***ing false, okay? Because all these people right now, I want to know, let me just gauge you and Repzilla, because we're talking and we're like having a nice conversation. I just want to know, do you think there's anything objectively wrong with reading an article and like saying that someone has a nice shirt? Like, do you think that Gabby did anything wrong now?
Back then.
In that context, no.
In the context of like understanding what's going on, like in 2020, would you make 2021? Would you make the video you guys made in 2020?
Well, the context is different from then to now, but it would be difficult not to make that video because her reputation and her track record is just so bad. You can't.
But what does her track record have to do with the fact that she opened up an article and said a girl had a nice shirt on?
When you say it that way, the context that's not at all bad. Like you can say, "Oh, you got a point, Edwin?"
No, I'm not saying it in a specific way. I'm telling you, there is nothing controversial about that video.
No,
nothing. There's no way to look at it. There's no light that it looks good in. Like it doesn't look bad. Literally, unless you add 50 other drama stories that you've probably made videos on.
So, you weren't being very objective there, and also you didn't read the fucking article. Regardless, I mean, now suddenly you're objective. And also, it's like, it always bothers me when people say stuff like this, and when they definitely haven't been, and they have no acknowledgement that they ever were anything but what they say they are now. Because it's like, are you trying to, hope that we forget? Because I didn't.
There were actual channels out there calling this girl a child. This girl who works, who is an adult, a child, in order to call Keemstar the P word. This is factually not true, and people were doing this because they don't like Keemstar, because he makes himself a very unlikable character, because he tweets things without knowing the context or watching or doing any type of research and sends thousands of people at you.
Okay. That is not where I expected that sentence to go. Because I think there are objective things to criticize Keemstar about.
In some way for that to happen? Like, can't you just turn your head, or can't you just get, like, is there some way to force oral on someone?
Yes, there is.
One of them not being tweeting out your video. Like, actual serious stuff, since you like to talk about how, totally, you rather focus on way more serious stuff. Like, he doesn't bring anything up besides, this thing that he personally had with Keem, which is a little bit, not good. Not good optic. So, hi, update. Turns out Keemstar and his new girlfriend just broke up. Well, not just, it was a little while ago, but, which is not surprising. Because, yeah, we don't know a lot of details of how the relationship ended, but I bet it might have something to do with the Aiden Ross stream, because, oh my god. So Keemstar went on an Aiden Ross stream, and it it kind of just puts the whole man's personality in perspective when he's around, like, normally functioning adults. It's like, I would say watch it, but don't watch it, because you could die of secondhand cringe. It was, whew, was that bad. Final thoughts about the video that I'm making here. For somebody who talks about, victim stories a lot and all that and how power dynamics work, he doesn't quite understand power dynamics, because he kept on coming back to, well, it's legal thing, and completely ignoring that this 20-year-old waitress both does not have a platform or the financial backing that Keem does, considering they live in LA, which there's no way a waitress is getting by. Like, the cost of living in LA is astronomically high, way more than it really should be. And so that is a very big power dynamic, and there could be a lot of things going wrong in that relationship. And a big thing that people kept on saying, like, it doesn't always necessarily mean that, but this is Keem we're talking about. I don't think Keem specifically should date anybody who's, like, whose brain isn't fully developed and who doesn't have the resources that he does. So, because he's clearly, like, you would have to trust that the older person isn't going to take advantage of those power dynamics, and trust is something that I frankly don't have in Keemstar. Repzilla doesn't quite understand that after somebody turns 18 that there still can be power dynamics, and that seems to be a weird thing with a lot of dudes who talk about, like, women's issues online, and they don't quite understand women's issues. There's power dynamics outside of what we legally consider adults, even though it seems like the science says you turn into, like, at least women. I haven't seen anything that distinguished between women and men on that research thing yet, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But your brain doesn't develop until age 25, and laws aren't always 100% with the science, because laws are made by turtles who've been here for 1,000 years and who are stuck in their ways. Anyway. In his video, his original fucking video, where he reads articles that are explaining to him that, yeah, your brain doesn't develop until age 25, he still doesn't get it, and he harped on a Minecraft joke for too long, instead of talking about the real problem, which is the larger platform than the other person in the relationship, also the financial one, and all of this, and he just kept on harping on that Minecraft joke. And just, the video had, like, zero substance. There's a woman who advocates, who does advocation and all that stuff. I don't remember the name of the channel because I just saw it. But I'll put a little thing up on the screen so you can see what the video is. She made a video about this too, along with Rachel Oates. So those, if you want to hear a better argument about all of this, it's going to be in those two videos. And that's all I have to say on this. This took me too long to make. I hate that. But social anxiety kind of makes me put things off. So hopefully I can get better at that. Next video is going to be much lighter. And then the next video is going to be a lot.